Alright, peeps, how y'all doing? This Movie Geek Griff for obviously, of course, X-Men Apocalypse review. I've only seen it once. I probably need to see it. We'll see it one more time with my kid, my little nerdette, my teenager. Um, I left not feeling any kind of way. You know, it wasn't like with BVS, Batman vs. Superman. I was like, man, that was long and plotting and drawn out. Only for, the big fight between them two and the big fight between the three and Doomsday. I'm just exhausted. I was exhausted after watching BVS. It was so long. It was almost 3 hours. Civil War came off on a high note, elated, that the movie was so awesome. Perhaps one of the best comic book movies ever, at least in the Marvel universe, in the current Marvel Cinematic Universe. This, and it's become a theme with the X-Men movies because, of course, 20th Century Fox has it and they don't know what to do. They just keep holding on to it as a property to make money. But I was left with nothing. I was like, it was like the ultimate meh, another X-Men. And I knew that kind of going in because, when it first came out, a lot of bad fanboy reaction to Apocalypse. Excuse me. Even now, it's Sunday, a lot of mixed reviews. The movie's projected to make 65 million so far, so it may not even crack triple digits by Monday, but it's a holiday, so maybe to get a little bump. But Bryan Singer, X1 director, X2 director, he needs to go. He needs to let someone else handle the property. They need to bring back Matthew Vaughn from First Class, but he's busy with the Xmen 2. And I think he said he didn't like making the movie with Fox Studios. So, but he brought a breath of fresh air in X-Men First Class that I really liked. You couldn't really fail with Days of Future Past because it's such an awesome storyline. It had its moments of like, what? But it was still ultimately like the whole time travel thing is like awesome. But Bryan Singer needs to let it go. What am I saying? And the outfit of Apocalypse is still a sticking point. It still looks kind of crappy. It actually looks very crappy, and it had close-ups and stuff on it. He is a character. If y'all know him from the comics and you know him from the cartoons and stuff, he kind of needed to be a lot more CGI than he was. He's a big, hulking, massive figure, and Oscar, I forgot what his last name is. Oscar Isaac did what he could, but like when you saw his human face, this dude is supposed to be like an ancient being of godlike power. Whenever you see his little human face, it's like, I don't buy it. So his face needed to be more CGI, body needed. He's just used his voice, and even then, Oscar Isaac's voice isn't that awesome. I'm sure they augmented it in post production, but Apocalypse should have been more CGI than it was. That's bottom line. Um, Overall, there was a laziness to the movie, um, or laziness, a malaise to, I don't know, the acting, specifically J Law, Jennifer Lawrence. I'm so sick of her, dude. Every time she's on the screen as Mystique or Raven making her little speeches, I'm just like, Hunger Games Part 9, 10, 11. It's Katniss in some kind of blue disguise. She needs to just go. X-Men should never revolve around Mystique like that. She's not even a real X-Men like that. I hate that she's a sticking point. She needs to go. She looked bored. On the other hand, Michael Fassbender, as Magneto continues to astound, he brought a lot of pathos to his role. In one particular scene where he's trying to live out his life in anonymity, and the cops roll up on him, and they take his family. That dude's a very good actor, man. He could be the next Bond. I'd be all right with that since my dude Claiborne's too old, and they're not gonna go with Idris. But that's another whole subject. Um, Magneto's suit, his suit looks stupid, even stupider than it did before. You know, APOC gave him an upgrade, but it looks horrible. Um, they need to. I don't know what it is about. They just introduce characters. I don't know if it's Fox or if it's Bryan Singer. They just introduce characters and they don't do nothing, or they don't say much. You know, you had Jubilee in there. She didn't do nothing and say nothing. You know, Storm and Archangel, bleh, and Psylocke. And I love Psylocke's look, but she was like the only one that really nailed the uniform, the outfit. But they all just they didn't do nothing. They were ciphers. You didn't know nothing about them, man. It was crazy. So they do nothing with the characters. The fights, the action sequences they're inert. They're not dynamic. They're not kinetic. They just kind of are. They're like little, but they're not. There's no fluidity. They're not connected at all. And like, they need to stop making speeches. They're always making speeches when they're fighting, and it's like they're dialoguing, like Expendables, like the Incredibles. And you know, I had them dialoguing, and they'd be, we'll build a better world and talking. I'm like, and how many freaking bridges and towns is Magneto going to destroy? Stop destroying bridges. Stop it, bro. What else? What I got here? I like the new Cyclops. Jean Grey is okay, old girl from Game of Thrones, but I've seen so much of her in Game of Thrones that when I see her on screen, I'm like, eh. Quicksilver scenes were awesome, of course. Kind of a spoiler, but not, because you saw it in the trailer. Weapon X, Wolverine in there one more time. His scenes were awesome. Excuse me. I'm tired of the X-Men suits, that matte black Matrix style that just like has no personality. The Professor X dream sequence with Apocalypse where he's fighting in the mine, it was kind of lame, actually. I know they wanted to be like a highlight, but it's kind of lame. And finally, the last scene, it felt like Amazing Spider-Man 2 when he was up against I guess Electro. It was okay, but that last scene where he fights Rhino when he swings the sewer and it's like a big wide shot, it had the awesomeness to it and zing. The only zing in X-Men at the very end is when they're in the danger room and everyone kind of has their traditional canon comic outfits on. You know, Scott had the visor, that, and they went in the danger room, and I think Nightcrawler had on his thing, his actual suit. They actually kind of looked comic booky, and I was like, in that one scene, especially with Scott with the visor, that was tight. I was like, that was my only moment of geek outness. I was like, yes! And then it was over, and I was like, see, that one last scene of y'all in the danger room and everybody dressed up and old boy bald and everyone, that's what it should have been the whole movie, but whatever. Yeah, someone else needs to take a hold of the franchise. I give it a C. 2.5 stars. You could wait for Redbox. You could wait for Redbox. Stay, of course, after the credits for the Easter egg scene. I had to look it up because I didn't know who it was, and it sets up some stuff. Pretty good, but I just hope Bryan Singer has nothing to do with it. This is Movie Geek Griff. You know, you can go see X-Men. You might be a little disappointed. I don't know. It's up to you. All right, y'all. I'm out.